Welcome folks, I am Jaby Koay and the Knives Out trailer has just dropped. It is starring Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Here we go, let's check this out.
I suspect foul play and I've eliminated no suspects.
I'm Detective Lieutenant Elliott, and this is Trooper Wagner. We just want to ask a few questions. We understand the night of his demise, the family have gathered to celebrate your father's 85th birthday. How was it?
The party? Pre my dad's death? Oh, it was great.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request that you all stay until the investigation is completed.
What?
Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask.
I'm gonna live till I die.
You think one of his family was killed? Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm gonna take the
You all love twisting the knife into one another. Up your ass.
Oh, very nice.
Matter of fact, eat shit. How's that? Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
gonna fly. I'm taking
You know something. Spill it.
I suspect foul play. I have eliminated no suspects.
I'm gonna live.
It's a twisted web. We are not finished untangling it, not yet.
What is this? CSI KFC?
Wow, that is a very unexpected direction for Rian Johnson to go. When I heard about this trailer, I was expecting it to be something totally different. I mean, with Daniel Craig and Chris Evans together, I thought it was gonna be some sort of epic action crusader kind of thing, like an adventure film or something. You know, Captain America and James Bond together, you're like, surely this is gonna be something just next level. And it's like, it's Clue, but I love that it's Clue. I didn't know that was gonna be I didn't know what I was in for. You know, you don't see too many movies like this nowadays. The last one you saw was, I don't even remember the name of it, forgive me, like the Orient Express or something like that. And it was like a whodunit on a train, I think. I didn't even watch the movie, but I'm definitely interested in this one. This is interesting because it's basically one location. And so with this kind of movie, I imagine the cast had a ball. When you're in this like one environment together for a very long time, this is one of those things where if it's popular, if people end up liking it a lot and it develops this strong following, I can see this being turned into a play if this is not already based on a play. I mean, this is written and directed by Rian Johnson. It doesn't say it's based on anything. I can easily see this becoming some sort of a play as well. I imagine for Daniel Craig, he's having a blast. He did that NASCAR heist movie. It was a Steven Soderbergh movie, and I can't remember the name of that film right now. It seems like he's really trying to get away from the James Bond thing. He's got his last James Bond film coming out, and I guess he's done with it after that. But he said something somewhere that like he is just sick of that role, sick of doing that being that guy. He just wants to have more fun, and this looks like a role that he had a lot of fun with. And Chris Evans as well. Like, they're both breaking away from the thing they've been building the last several years. So this is really interesting because it's totally a new direction for both of them. Given the cast who's involved, both in front of and behind the camera, I really wonder how this will resonate with people, because you don't get films like this nowadays very often. And it can go one of two directions. Either people are just not interested because this is not an action heist, it's not a caper film, it's nothing like big and adventurous like the films that Daniel Craig and Chris Evans have been part of for several years, or even Jamie Lee Curtis for that matter, with the Halloween films. Or it could be that people are so into it because it's fresh, because it's something we don't see a lot. And I'm really curious to hear what you guys think in the comments, because this was not what I was expecting, and I feel like when people click on a film that has Daniel Craig's name or Chris Evans' name on the marquee, on the title, they're gonna be in for quite a shocker. Like, they're not expecting it to be this sort of comedic whodunit movie. I like that they're doing different things. I mean, Chris Evans has been trying to do different things. I think he directed and starred in this romantic film that not too many people saw. I mean, I was keeping my eye out for it and it never seemed to really go full mainstream. And if it did, I just missed it. Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, it's actually not that far removed from what I was first introduced to with Rian Johnson, which is Looper. Because most of Looper actually takes place in one location. So maybe this is something Rian Johnson loves. And then if you think about it, with Star Wars, The Last Jedi, a huge chunk of that movie took place in the same spot as well. I mean, it was in space, mind you. It's a space opera, but a lot of it took place on that one ship. You know, the one ship that was getting away from the other ship. That's most of the movie. That was most of the film, is that chase happening in space. I guess that's something Rian Johnson does, is he sort of simplifies the areas that the film is taking place in and tries to give you as dramatic a situation as possible within that. One of the other cool aspects about having just one location, especially with a story like this, is that you can get really, really experimental, much in the same way you can get experimental with horror films. Like you can, I remember hearing from a filmmaker friend like how she loved horror films because you can literally just do anything you want. You can experiment to your heart's content. And here you can experiment in much the same way in order to emphasize impact or drama, you know, and you could already see it here in the trailer where you're getting some interesting camera angles. You can really cut loose as a director in terms of what kind of shots you're getting. I think even as an actor, you can experiment a little bit more because it's just one location, because you don't have to worry about going to, you know, this place and that place. I feel like even though you're probably on a tighter shooting schedule, you have a little bit more elbow room in terms of what you can do, how many takes you can do. You can have a little bit more fun with it. All around, it seems like, at least for the actors and directors involved, a really, really, really fun project to just let loose and get creative with. The last thing I want to mention is that this very much seems to be a genre film. I was looking at the description and it says, when renowned crime novelist Harlan Thrombey, Christopher Plummer, is found dead at his estate just after his 85th birthday. And so he's a renowned crime novelist. So that aspect right there, for some reason, feels very typical of this particular genre. As, you know, Daniel Craig investigates the crime scene, he's probably gonna discover a lot of elements that are straight out of the novelist's book. The books, I'm sure, will have a lot of clues to help give some direction as to how to figure out who the killer is over the course of the story, or killers, who knows if it's more than one person. I forgot to mention Michael Shannon, who is a very profoundly interesting actor to watch. All around, this is an awesome cast with interesting characters, and it seems like a fun arena, a fun environment for Rian Johnson to play with. So I like the music choice for the trailer. I wonder if that speaks to the music that you're gonna hear in the movie. I hope it does. It's a very specific choice, so I'm really hoping that, you know, you have a fun soundtrack in the film as well, that it's complemented by a fun soundtrack. Anyways, you guys, I wanna hear your thoughts in the comments below, and do check out our other reactions, reviews, short films, and vlogs. I'm Jaby Koay. Peace out.